PTV, Fort Worth, Dallas, with Dorothy Sarnoff. Dorothy, earlier today you made a comment talking about some of the speech work that you have done throughout the country, and you made just this one comment. You said that I can get rid of a person's lisp in 1 hour. Now, I was a speech broadcasting major, and I was able to do quite a lot of speech correction while I was in college. And 1 hour, we just couldn't have done it in 1 hour.
It's so simple. I have a quick trick for it. If a person inclines his head all the way back so that his face is parallel to the ceiling, the tongue falls back into the throat through gravity, doesn't it?
Right.
So that the tongue tip does not touch anywhere. It's when the tongue tip touches somewhere in the mouth and blocks the breath stream that you get a lisp. So in that position, you get the person to hiss with the tongue falling back in the throat. He can do that easily. And you gradually have him bring his head down to a normal position, maintaining the tongue in retreat. And then he finds out how it is to sound an S without the th sound. After that, there are drills in the back of Speech Can Change Your Life for the lisper. And you start him out with thin. Retreat the tongue. He must say that aloud. Retreat the tongue, and he does sin. Thank. Retreat the tongue. Sank. And you go down that whole page, and in 1 hour, he's not lisping.
That's marvelous.
By saying retreat or retract the tongue aloud. There are 2 pages there that really do get the lisper out of the lisp.
In 1 hour. That's marvelous. You know, we know about the voice and speech work that you do with Sears Charm Schools, and we always seem to think that you work with girls and with women, but you spend a lot of time working with men. Mostly men.
I have called my husband from Chicago and said, darling, I have had 9 of the most attractive men today, and we have a great laugh. What other woman could make that claim?
And get by with it.
I work for a corporation which buys my services by the day, and we work with 9 executives privately a day with TV camera and change their images.
Now you have a TV camera on.
I work my own TV camera, yes.
And they go through certain exercises and then they see instant replay or what?
Well, first I will work my camera and have a conversation from behind the camera with them. If they have trouble in informal conversation, we'll have them seated conversing with me. If their problem is in the area of the formal speech, I'll have them give me a sample of their speech making. And then before I show them back what is up there on the screen, we will do a discussion of inventory. What makes attractive speech making in other people whom we both will know in public life. Write down the characteristics of what makes the positive speech maker. Then look back at the film that we took on him, my client, but he must look back on himself as though he's looking at somebody else and evaluate objectively.
Now, who are some people, Dorothy, that you would say are really good, effective speakers and have practically no bad speech habits?
Well, when we say bad speech habits, you mean speech making and sounds or mannerisms.
Oh, the whole thing.
That is a toughie. Let me tell you what the consensus of opinion from my clients is, past and present examples of images of speech. JFK wins thumbs down. Franklin Delano Roosevelt certainly joined the list. I'm sorry to say on the side of the page where they write people where a little something is found wanting, they put President Nixon, McCarthy, Muskie, William Buckley, and so on.
All right. Now let's just take some of these people. Supposing that you did have an opportunity to work with President Nixon, what would you work on?
Well, don't you think that perhaps he lacks a little animation when he talks with us? Would you agree to that?
I think that would be a fair thing.
That the eyes...
I think he even thinks that.
Well, you think that because we get the feeling that President Nixon in the formal speech session is not as at ease with himself as he would like to be, and therefore we're not as at ease with him while he's speaking. Secondly, he holds up, they say, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States Camera opens 3/4 shot on President Nixon with the typewritten pages standing up here in front of him, which says, "I am going to read my speech." And I think the cameraman, as our cameraman we hope is protecting us, should zero in on him and cut out the typewritten page standing up here, which is the star of the show, that says, "I'm going to read my speech," and give him the possibility of saying, "I'm going to speak with you tonight." Eyes up, and so that he can have the, "Whoever you are out there, I care about you," that kind of tone. That's what
Dorothy,
I would do
wish
with
we
President
had-
Nixon.
I wish we had more time to pursue this. When you come back to Dallas-Fort Worth, we'll pick up where we left
I can
off.
hardly wait.
Thank you for
Thank
talking
you,
with us
Bobbie.
today.
Love seeing you
Dorothy
always.
Sarnoff.